Hi everybody! In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create a PowerApps for Teams application using Dataverse for Teams as a data source. We will explore the different functions and operations, and you will compare that with an application using Dataverse, the full version. So let's start with this video. Okay, so let's start reviewing our PowerApps application that we have created on Teams. In this particular case, we are using PowerApps for Teams, and the data source is Dataverse for Teams. Just to explore the design of this application, you need to access to Teams. You need to search for your PowerApps application here. If we click here, you will see that it will open an interface in which we can create new apps for Teams, and you will also be able to see the apps that you have recently created. Okay, so from here you can create a new app. You see your recent apps. Actually, the app that I have created is this one. Or you can go to build, and in build you will see, for example, the different teams that you have created and that are particularly associated to an application that you have created. My teams is this one, MWS demo team. And here you will see the different components that are part of my application. For example, here we have the different tables. Those are Dataverse for Teams tables. And here is my PowerApps Canvas app application. If I click here, I can open my application in design mode, and we will be able to customize this application. Okay, so here we have our PowerApps for Teams application. You will see in this section that we have all our Dataverse for Teams tables. If you want to create a new table, you can easily do that from here. You can click on create new table. You can specify the name and customize your table as needed. If you want to customize, for example, any of the existing tables, for example, the courses table, you can click on here and edit table, and you can easily add new column. For example, if you want to add a new column, you can easily do that from here, and you can select also the different data types, right? Something that is interesting is that in comparison to the full version of Dataverse, like the premium version, you won't have all the complex or advanced data types, right? You have a limited number of or existing data types, and you won't have other advanced capabilities like, for example, security at the record level or security at the field level. You won't have auditing at the field level as well. So there are some specific advanced capabilities that probably a more complex or critical application will need. However, in this case, for example, for small applications or productivity application, probably these field types are going to be enough. You can also easily update the values of your table. You can add new rows, you can show or hide columns. And in terms of relationship, is the same, right? You can create relationships between those tables. So we are replicating the same data structure as we had in our PowerApps application that uses Dataverse as the data source. In terms of screens, we have the same screens. If we have replicated also the same screens here. Something interesting is that if we go to the section of controls, you will see that obviously you will have a limited number of control type. We won't have all the capabilities available in PowerApps Canvas app. For example, things like shapes, you have just some shapes, but you don't have all the variety of shapes available in standard PowerApps Canvas app. But basically you will have the most common controls. So with this, probably it will be enough for you. You can add forms, you can add galleries, you can add tables, as you can see here, right? I have a table here and I have the information that I need. Okay, this is just to test that this is working. Perfect. Now let's explore the filters, right? A great news in this type of application is that all the functions that are delegable to Dataverse are also delegable to Dataverse for Teams. So you won't have delegation issues. If you look at the filters, for example, here, and remember, the way we configure our combo boxes is very similar to the way we did on Dataverse. We just need to specify the table name name in the items property. So it's exactly the same. In the filters, if we go to review the filters, we will see that the functionality and the filters that we are applying here are the same. Actually, it's very similar. We are just specifying the correct table name as well as the correct table fields, but the filters are the same and we don't have any delegation warning here. If we go to numeric filters as well, you will see that we don't have delegation warnings and the filters are the same. We just change the name of the table, but the expressions, the filters, the operations are exactly the same. The same is going to happen in date filters, for example, right? Remember that the advantage of Dataverse is that we can apply filters by date, which is something that by default is not possible in SQL, for example. Remember that we had to create a calculated field, but in this case we don't have to do that, and the function is exactly the same. In the case of text filters, it's working equally. We haven't done any additional change. The filters are the same and all of them are delegable, and the same is going to happen with the search function. And right, you can see here that obviously the only change that we had to make is in the internal name of the control. If you want to know which is the internal name of the control, you just put comma and you will see the different internal names, but the functionality is going to be the same. Even if we go to operators, remember that in operators there is a delegation warning, right? Because we can use these types of operators in our filter expression. It's not delegable. So this is the same delegation warning that you have in Dataverse. So it's exactly the same functionality. Now, some interesting considerations here, because you will see, okay, most of the functionality is basically the same in terms of delegation, right? You will be able to basically replicate the same functionality and delegate the same functions and have good performance. Now, remember that there are some restrictions in terms of capacity, right? For example, that one Dataverse for Teams environment will have a capacity of up to 2 gigabytes of data or up to 1 million records. Obviously, if you compare that with Dataverse, you have up to 4 terabytes of content. So it's like the capacity of Dataverse is significantly more than in Dataverse for Teams. Another interesting consideration as well is that each time you create a new Teams and you create an app for a Teams, there is going to be one environment associated to that or to that team. So each team is going to have an environment, right? If you would like to see that, you basically can go. If you're an administrator, you can go to the admin portal. You can go to the admin portal and you can go to all admin centers and access to the Power Platform Administration portal or administration center. And from here, you will be able to select the Microsoft Teams environment. In this case, you will see that the environment types. For example, I have created this trial environment, which is the environment in which my solutions and applications are hosted. But in this case, there is an environment of Microsoft Teams type. And if I click here, obviously there are some configurations I can do from here. Something interesting is that you can upgrade this Dataverse for Teams database to Dataverse premium version. So that's the reason of that is that you can start with a small application, right? But then your needs can increase. You could have additional demand. You can have additional users or more information, and you require additional functionality, security functionalities, a better performance, so you have the possibility to upgrade. And from here, if you go to PowerApps, you can see also the application that we have created in Teams. Here's the application. We can click here and we can open the application in the browser. Also, it's important to review the documentation. In the documentation, you will see the difference between Dataverse for Teams and Dataverse. So not only consider the delegation warnings, or the delegation issues that you can have, because you will see Dataverse for Teams and Dataverse in terms of delegation is going to be the same, but you need to evaluate also the different features and capabilities and restrictions as well. So if you want to look at the differences, you will see that there are a lot of additional features available in the full version of Dataverse. For example, advanced data types. So if your application is more complex and you need more advanced data types, it's better to go with the full version of Dataverse. In addition to that, there are some capabilities related to business intelligence. There are some limits. You will see that the maximum size of a Dataverse for Teams is 1 million rows or 2 gigabytes, right? And you have one environment per team. And also in the case of Dataverse, you can store even more than 4 terabytes of content. So the capacity is also something interesting and important. In terms of security, there are a lot of security capabilities available in the full version of Dataverse that are not available in Dataverse for Teams, as well as integration capabilities, right? So Dataverse for Teams is a great option for citizen developers to build applications, quickly build solutions for teams, for projects, for small productivity applications, but for more complex scenario, for most important or critical scenarios, it's important that you consider other options like Dataverse or... Okay guys, I hope you liked this video. In our next video, we will explore our last data source, SharePoint Online. So remember that if you like this content, subscribe to the channel, and if you have feedback or recommendations on what would you like to see in next videos, please put your comments below. Bye.